But we have some cooler weather on tap for us as early as tomorrow, actually. What's going to happen is we have this area of low pressure sweeping in from the south. It's going to bring in daytime highs down into the 60s in some of our inland communities, actually. And as we take a look at the next couple days, we're going to see clouds surge in from the south, a chance of showers as well. And that's what we're keeping a close eye on as we head at least into our Wednesday forecast. We'll start to dry up by Thursday and Friday before we get another batch of showers right around the corner heading into this weekend. That's exactly what it's going to look like, by the way, on Wednesday. Notice how spotty it is. Nothing too extreme, but what we will see is anywhere up to around 1/100 of an inch of rain from that system before we gear up for the atmospheric river that could bring in some heavier showers from the north as we dive into our Saturday and Sunday forecast. So those rain chances, we're keeping a close eye on them. And then also another thing to mention too, take a look at our daytime highs and how all these pressure systems influence us. 80s today, sunny skies. As early as tomorrow, we're cooling down into the 70s and upper 60s throughout our inland spots. And that's the case as we dive into this weekend's forecast too. Nice cool conditions to wrap up this week. Heading into this weekend, it'll definitely feel more fall-like. And then you head over into the Bay. San Francisco today, we're not usually in the 70s. We're a little bit above average this afternoon. But by tomorrow, we're right back to where we should be. And that's the case as we dive into this weekend's forecast. So some big things to note. Tomorrow, we can see some light showers sweeping in from the south, mostly impacting the Santa Clara Valley, the central coast areas. Will dry up for Thursday. By Friday, that's when that next batch of showers pushes in from the north, keeping us nice and cool into this weekend with showers on tap for us for Saturday and Sunday. For now, back to you.
Today, city leaders in San Francisco are mulling over their next moves after President Donald Trump doubled down on his threat to send in the National Guard.
But we're going to go to San Francisco, and we're going to make it great. We're going to make it great. It'll be great. Again, San Francisco is a great city. It won't be great if it keeps going like this.
President Trump said on Sunday on Fox News that he'd use the Insurrection Act to bring in the troops. In response, Mayor Daniel Lurie released a statement saying that wouldn't help the city tackle one of its biggest priorities.
I am deeply grateful to the members of our military for their service to our country. But the National Guard does not have the authority to arrest drug dealers. And sending them to San Francisco will do nothing to get fentanyl off the streets, nor will it make our city safer.
The mayor also said crime is under control in San Francisco. He pointed to numbers showing violent crime is at its lowest point in decades. Today, the mayor is meeting with city supervisors to discuss how to prepare in case the National Guard is called in. The family of former NFL star Doug Martin is sharing details of his final moments after he died in Oakland police custody. Oakland police say Martin tried to break into a home in the Oakland Hills early Saturday morning. When officers arrived, they tried to detain him, and they say there was a struggle. After being taken into custody, police say Martin became unresponsive and later died at a hospital. Martin's family releasing a statement acknowledging Martin suffered from a mental illness. They say that they were actively seeking medical assistance for him. And before the incident, Martin fled his home during the night and entered a neighbor's residence 2 doors down, where he was taken into custody by police. The officers involved, they've been placed on paid administrative leave. Martin was born in Oakland. He played 7 seasons in the NFL, ending his career with the Raiders back in 2019. The Vallejo fountain was first built along the Embarcadero 54 years ago. It reflected the spirit of artistry in the city of San Francisco. Now the city is considering destroying it. As our Kara St. Cyr spoke with a San Francisco native who believes the statue and its legacy should be preserved in the city.
When Allegra Fisher sees Valancourt Fountain, the memories come flooding back.
This is around the age when I probably loved running in the fountain the most.
To her, the fountain is a symbol of San Francisco's deep connection to the arts.
We share such a love of San Francisco and a love of the arts in San Francisco, I think because of the time that I got to spend here with her as a child. And now I have a niece and nephew who will be growing up in San Francisco, and I'm really hoping, to be able to continue to pass that on to them.
That's why she sat through nearly 2 hours of public comment.
Hello, I'm Allegra Fisher.
Pleading with the Arts Commission to save it.
As an artist who continues to choose to make San Francisco home, I hope the Commission chooses to invest in public spaces that are unique and full of important art and architectural history.
A recent report mandated by the city showed that the fountain isn't ADA compliant. It also contains lead and asbestos. San Francisco Recreation and Parks estimates it'll cost $29 million to
Good
renovate.
evening, Commissioners. My name is Julian Lake.
The cost isn't worth it for Julian Lake, a spokesperson for the Bay Area Council.
It's no longer fun and interactive for children to play in and communities to engage in. It's now cordoned off and because of safety hazards, has to be fenced away so that folks are not injured in interacting with the fountain itself.
While redevelopment plans for the plaza are being drawn, Lake wants the city to consider another structure in the fountain's place.
We also can make way for new inspiration.
But ultimately, the decision falls on the Arts Commission, who haven't voted on a decision yet.
Is it appropriate to have conversations with folk who are interested in raising money from the private sector for these kind of, preservation of the art?
I've been underneath those little stepping stones, but I also been on the building side of things where I realize, like, as soon as you touch anything, you can touch it, and then they're going to say you've got to make it ADA compliant, you've got to make the mechanical, electrical, and all the life safety systems up to code.
Allegra just wants the legacy of Valancourt to continue.
So this hole was open and you could run around inside the fountain.
For other kids to enjoy, as she did in her youth.
One other group that would be sad to see this fountain go, skateboarders out there. Valancourt has a long history as a popular skate spot in the city of San Francisco. It has even been featured as something you can skate on in the popular Tony Hawk Pro Skater video games. The estimated cost to remove and dispose of the fountain would be just over $2.5 million. Still ahead here on CBS News Bay Area, the fight to stop apartments from being built in an East Bay city. Everyone knows we need housing, but at what cost? Plus, abandoned shopping carts clogging up South Bay waterways. How a new state law could help clean up the mess out there.
This is where shopping carts really become an issue. There are thousands of these shopping carts.
Well, it's another warm day for us here in the Bay Area. Gearing up for 80s in our inland spots. Sunny skies too on tap for us. It's a great day to get out there and get some fresh air. Now by tomorrow, temperatures are going to feel a little bit more fall-like. We have this area of low pressure sweeping in from the south. That'll cool us off, bring in some clouds. Average the temperatures out as we dive into this weekend. And then as early as this weekend, we have an atmospheric river sweeping in from the north. That's going to bring in some substantial rain for us, especially in the North Bay, because that's the direction of this storm, north to south. So we could see anywhere up to around an inch up in the North Bay, closer to a half an inch down in the South Bay.
In Pleasant Hill, city leaders just approved a rezoning plan that's drawn some pushback from community members. The city says that the rezoning needs to be done to align with its newly adopted 2040 general plan and a state mandate to address regional housing needs. People at a community meeting last night told our Amanda Harry rezoning will change what makes their community special to them.
Driving down the streets of Pleasant Hill, you see house after house, but zoning changes could add in more apartment complexes to these streets.
It's going to change the whole dynamic of the city.
Jeffrey Thomas has lived in Pleasant Hill for 42 years. He raised his son here. It's his home, and it's special to him.
It's a little bit more affordable. It's got the community feel to it. I mean, we have neighborhood block parties, barbecues, cookie exchange at Christmas time, and we know everybody.
But now part of his street is on the list to be rezoned, and he feels like it could change everything.
Somebody wants to sell, they'll sell to a developer, and then the next person will sell to a developer, and the next person will do the same thing, and then after they get enough land, they'll take and build a 500-unit apartment building on it.
The city of Pleasant Hill says the rezoning needs to be done to add in more mixed-use and high-density zoned land. It's required to align with its already adopted 2040 general plan and with a state-mandated process to address regional housing needs. The Planning Commission unanimously recommended approval, but Thomas worries about the ramifications of the city growing so rapidly.
It's going to bring in more crime, more homeless.
And he's not the only one with concerns. So many people attended the meeting, there were 2 overflow rooms. Rochelle Gardner shared many of Thomas's concerns.
You go to these new developments, every house looks identical. Pleasant Hill's not like that. Real cute, small little houses with good families that have lived there forever. Huge apartments means more congestion, possibly more crime, just more people. We don't have enough services for the people that are already here.
She's lived in the city for 23 years, but Gardner says the new zoning may encourage her to think about moving.
Unfortunately, yes. We've already, all of us in our neighborhood have been talking about how sad that would be, that it might be a possibility that this is not, the community that we move to.
Thomas is also considering it.
Okay.
His son lives in Tennessee, and it's starting to look more appealing to him.
Yeah, absolutely. Everybody here is, like I said, is angry.
The council voted 3-1 to approve the rezoning. The council says they will review the plan for potential changes as well as some rezoning efforts. There are new legal developments in a deadly crash in San Francisco that happened last year. Loved ones of the family of 4 killed at the West Portal bus stop accused the driver now of trying to avoid liability. The victim's family alleging that the driver, Mary Fong Lau, moved multiple assets just weeks after that crash. Court documents show that Lau transferred properties out of her name and into limited liability companies that she owned. She also allegedly shifted some properties to third parties, including her son-in-law, Thomas McKellen. The plaintiffs say that it's part of a scheme to avoid paying damages. Now the family is asking the court to void these transfers and add Callahan as a defendant as well. Lau's attorneys issuing a response saying in part, Lau sought professional help and was advised to recognize her property holdings in the months following the accident. None of these transfers were intended to evade potential damages arising from this heartbreaking event. And we know that since the crash at the bus stop last year, the West Portal station has seen several safety upgrades out there. Those improvements including new planters serving as barriers and also those polka dot street murals to clearly mark pedestrian areas outside of the station to help. Today, BART is still trying to pinpoint the cause of the track troubles that crippled the commute for hours yesterday. It was a much smoother commute for BART riders today, and this is how things looked over at the MacArthur station in Oakland this morning. But yesterday, a different story, an equipment issue forcing BART to shut down the red and the green lines for 3 hours. A BART spokesman told us that a conductor heard a popping sound while going through the Transbay tube. It was the latest meltdown in recent months for BART, which have taken their toll now on riders.
It's incredibly frustrating. Not only like physically because people are aggressive, but like it's an hour and 25 minutes. I have to find a restroom. It's hard. It's hard on people.
BART says all lines were back up and running by late morning. They belong inside grocery stores, but in San Jose, shopping carts have been cluttering neighborhoods and clogging waterways. Environmentalists say they just aren't an eyesore for people. They're also threatening wildlife. Lynn Ramirez takes us to the banks of the Guadalupe River, where they hope a new state law cracking down on abandoned carts will help clean things up.
So we're going to be getting onto the Guadalupe River Trail.
Through overgrown brush and muddy trails, Josh Lopez leads the way, past piles of trash, rusting metal, and many things you might not expect.
Some of the more interesting items like car parts. There's a car light right there. Or over here, there's a little oxygen tank.
But as we continue on to the Guadalupe River's edge, a bigger problem comes into view.
This is where shopping carts really become an issue. There are thousands of these shopping carts throughout our water systems. Just this stretch alone from the Guadalupe, on the Guadalupe River, from Taylor Street to Heading, we estimate that there's around 100 shopping carts within the waterway.
Josh works with the Clean Creeks Coalition. He says random shopping carts can become challenging barriers for fish and wildlife. And even worse, they are sometimes placed by people camping on the river to poach fish, including salmon, trying to complete their spawning runs.
We've seen people in the past lay them across the rivers and creeks in the shallow areas where the salmon really have no choice but to go forward. And that ends up putting them in a very bad situation. They end up getting caught in the shopping carts, and then they're very vulnerable to just getting picked up and taken out of the water.
But now a new California law just signed by the governor, AB 753, aims to change that by making it easier and faster for cities to clean up abandoned shopping carts. It eliminates a decades-old rule that forced cities to store abandoned carts for 30 days before they could take action. Now cities can move faster and charge retailers for the cost of recovery.
I think we shaved 27 days off of what'll be the typical time that a shopping cart, stays out in the public.
State Senator Dave Cortese authored the bill, which was also sponsored by the city of San Jose.
It creates a system of cost recovery for the cities, and they're a little bit of a hammer so that they can fine the owners of these carts if they don't show up. And I think that's going to cause everybody to get on the bandwagon here.
So these things are pretty heavy and whatnot.
For Josh Lopez, the change couldn't come soon enough. Some carts have been stuck here so long, they're buried in mud.
It takes 2 to 3 people to try to get these things out safely.
Josh hopes the new law will help San Jose remove the carts more quickly and lessen the chances they will end up in the river. And with the fall salmon run just weeks away, Lopez says it's a critical time to clean up.
These salmon have been coming, they come in here to spawn from the Pacific Ocean, so they've gone a long way and had to go through a lot to get up here. By the time they're in our waters, or in our rivers and creeks, they're pretty weak, and they're just trying to find a nice place to lay their eggs.
Josh and his group say San Jose's recent efforts to remove river encampments are having an impact, and polluted pockets are getting harder to find. But the new law could help rivers flow freely once again and give their ancient wildlife a better chance to survive.
Under the new law, cities would be able to retrieve and return the abandoned carts right away and charge businesses up to $100 per cart if it's a reoccurring problem for them. The previous law only fining them $50 and kept those lost carts in storage for about 30 days. The California Grocers Association had opposed the bill. They told us in a statement that it's vital to protect the grocery industry's right to retrieve stolen carts without creating higher costs for the stores and shoppers, and they appreciate Senator Cortesi's willingness to work with them on SB 753, but there's still more work to be done at the local level to ensure the law doesn't drive up prices for people. Still ahead, 49ers star linebacker Fred Warner may be sidelined for the season, but the captain is still making a difference for the players on the field.
Starting off with tomorrow, as we head outside today, heading into the evening hours tonight, here's those clouds. We could even zoom in a little bit that I was talking about. It'll happen closer to around 9, 10 o'clock. So just keep that in mind if you want to take your eyes to the skies and check out that comet. It'll also bring in a series of light showers in the forecast too. Now, Thursday, for the most part, clouds just pushing in from the north. We're going to catch a little bit of a break from the storm system that's going to be rolling in as early as Friday. That one's going to bring in some heavier amounts of rain. For example, Wednesday alone, we'll see maybe 1/100 of an inch, just light spotty showers here and there. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, that's the better chance that we could see heavy showers as this atmospheric river rolls in from offshore. So let's actually drop everything, and I want to show you just the next 7 days alone. Here's what we're gearing up for as we head outside today and tomorrow. We're going to see daytime highs sitting in the 70s today in the Bay, 60s tomorrow with some light showers on tap for us. The heavier showers, as we zoom all the way in, will happen as we head into Saturday and Sunday, and this is what we're monitoring closely as we head into this weekend. For now, over to you.
The 49ers preparing to take on the Texans Sunday in Houston. Niners captain Fred Warner is out for the rest of the season because of an ankle injury, but as Matt Lively shows us, he still found a way to contribute to Sunday's win over the Falcons.
This is the Audi Red and Gold Report.
The 49ers are 5-2 after Sunday night's win over the Falcons as San Francisco continues to put up wins despite having many of their stars on the injured list. Linebacker Fred Warner may be out for the rest of the season with an ankle injury, but that didn't stop him from having an impact on the team on Sunday night. Warner was shown on the video board firing up the crowd, but that might not have helped the team as much as you'd expect.
He is the aura farming king, I will say that. How about Fred Warner being shown on the scoreboard, and we almost had to go on a silent count because we couldn't hear a play call? How selfish of Fred Warner. Goodness gracious.
On Saturday, he showed up in the meeting room and surprised us. He watched film with us, and he didn't give any pointers, but he allowed us to learn, and he just showed us that he's still here. And for somebody to do that, man, he showed that he really cares, and it's not always about him.
For the Red and Gold Report, I'm Matt Lively.
Tune in tomorrow for our weekly 49ers Experience show with Matt and Vern Glenn. It airs at 7:30 on KPIX and also streaming on the free CBS News app. Coming up in our next half hour here on CBS News Bay Area, digging out of San Jose's housing crisis and also boosting BART in the process, a milestone in the city's efforts to build a village around the station at the end of the line.
Your community, your news, powered by KPIX. CBS News Bay Area. Watch anywhere, anytime. Stay informed and connected. Trusted local news when you want it. CBS News Bay Area. Watch free on any device.
You're streaming CBS News Bay Area.
Thanks for staying with us. I'm Veronica Macias, and here's another look at our news headlines for you. Governor Newsom is warning millions of Californians who rely on food benefits they may not get their November payments. The governor's press office says if the government doesn't reopen by Thursday, CalFresh benefits may not be funded starting next month. Newsom's office says about 5.5 million Californians rely on those SNAP benefits. Today, we're learning a chess grandmaster from the Bay Area has died. 29-year-old Daniel Naroditsky started as a child prodigy, earning the title of the world's youth champion by 12 years old and then grandmaster by the age of 18. The Charlotte Chess Center, where he worked as a coach, announcing his death yesterday. He was born in San Mateo County and graduated from Stanford. No word yet on his cause of death. The NBA season tipping off tonight with the Warriors on the road against the Los Angeles Lakers. There's no LeBron James to face as he's dealing with an injury. Dub Nation can cheer on the team with a watch party over at Thrive City. Tip-off is at 7. The Warriors will play their home opener Thursday, of course, at Chase Center. Let's get another check of our first alert forecast with meteorologist Jessica Birch.
Daytime highs today all throughout the Bay Area, nice and warm. We're talking about 80s in our inland spots, 70s in San Francisco and Oakland. Let's head up to the North Bay real fast, actually. Places like Santa Rosa are sitting in the 80s today, but we have some cooler weather on tap for us as early as tomorrow, actually. What's going to happen is we have this area of low pressure sweeping in from the south. It's going to bring in daytime highs down into the 60s in some of our inland communities, actually. And as we take a look at the next couple days, we're going to see clouds surge in from the south, a chance of showers as well, and that's what we're keeping a close eye on as we head at least into our Wednesday forecast. We'll start to dry up by Thursday and Friday before we get another batch of showers right around the corner heading into this weekend. That's exactly what it's going to look like, by the way, on Wednesday. Notice how spotty it is, nothing too extreme, but what we will see is anywhere up to around 1/100 of an inch of rain from that system before we gear up for the atmospheric river that could bring in some heavier showers from the north as we dive into our Saturday and Sunday forecast. So those rain chances, we're keeping a close eye on them. And then also another thing to mention too, take a look at our daytime highs and how all these pressure systems influence us. 80s today, sunny skies. As early as tomorrow, we're cooling down into the 70s and upper 60s throughout our inland spots. And that's the case as we dive into this weekend's forecast too. Nice cool conditions to wrap up this week. Heading into this weekend, it'll definitely feel more fall-like. And then you head over into the Bay. San Francisco today, we're not usually in the 70s. We're a little bit above average this afternoon. But by tomorrow, we're right back to where we should be. And that's the case as we dive into this weekend's forecast. So some big things to note. Tomorrow, we can see some light showers sweeping in from the south, mostly impacting the Santa Clara Valley, the Central Coast areas. Will dry up for Thursday. By Friday, that's when that next batch of showers pushes in from the north, keeping us nice and cool into this weekend with showers on tap for us for Saturday and Sunday. For now, back to you.
A major security scare at the world's busiest airport in Atlanta, where police say they likely stopped an attacker. Authorities say the suspect was checking out TSA security when he was stopped and arrested. Police found a semi-automatic rifle with dozens of rounds inside his truck. Skylar Henry reports from Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport.
What are your reasons at the airport right now?
We want to?
Why are you at the airport?
Oh. I'm just here.
A body-worn camera shows the moment two Atlanta police officers approached Billy Joe Cagle at the airport's South Terminal Monday morning.
Billy Cagle.
Billy?
Yes, ma'am.
Police were canvassing for Cagle after his family called 911 less than 30 minutes earlier.
We were alerted by family members that Mr. Cagle was en route to somewhere in the Atlanta area. They weren't sure. Ultimately, we found out it was the Atlanta airport and that he had the intention to inflict harm to as many people as he could.
Put your hands behind your back.
Officers arrested Cagle in the terminal. He was unarmed at the time, but police say just outside in his truck, they found an AR-15 assault rifle and 27 rounds of ammunition. Surveillance video shows Cagle arriving in that vehicle at 9:29 in the morning.
Police say Cagle left his pickup truck with a loaded semi-automatic rifle inside. He then went inside of the departure area here at the airport to quote-unquote scout the location. They say he planned on returning back to his truck to get his semi-automatic rifle.
Inside the terminal, Cagle walked towards the security checkpoint and stayed there for a while before walking away.
And I do believe he was likely to use that weapon inside the crowded terminal that he had just seen.
We did have a tragedy averted today.
Police describe him as mentally challenged and say that he is a convicted felon, which should exclude him from owning a firearm. Investigators say that they are looking into how he obtained that firearm as well as a possible motive.
An arraignment for the suspect is set for tomorrow. Thousands of websites are back up and running after that massive outage yesterday. It was traced to a problem with Amazon Web Services. The disruption rippled across the internet sites around the entire world, and apps like Snapchat and Venmo and several airlines and Amtrak also reported seeing delays. Amazon says that the problem came from a glitch in an internal subsystem. Federal regulators are now taking a closer look at Waymo's self-driving cars after one of the company's robo-taxis had a close call with a school bus. Look at this video. It shows where this robo-taxi in Georgia is passing a stopped school bus while the kids are just getting off. Waymo claims the car couldn't see the flashing lights or the stop sign on that bus from its angle. The Mountain View-based company says it's already rolling out software fixes. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration says it's also investigating. Another crackdown on RVs in the Bay Area, this time over in Palo Alto. Places like Elwood Court, just off Highway 101, are lined with RVs out there. Businesses like Rencor Medical on Elwood Court say there isn't a place for people to park on the street anymore. They're also concerned about visitor and employee safety.
We have gone to the city and we've petitioned them at a minimum to be actually enforcing the laws that they have.
Actually, I'm starting to notice that every city and every county, nobody wants the homeless.
Now the City Council has approved an ordinance that will phase in restrictions on RV parking. It prioritizes a ban on so-called van lording, the practice of renting RVs on streets out to tenants. The latest point-in-time count shows the homeless population in Palo Alto has grown by 113%. That's just in 2 years. That's the largest increase by far over in the South Bay. A massive new development is moving forward in Northeast San Jose right now, across from the Bay. You can hear the construction work ongoing. It's a major step forward in addressing San Jose's housing crisis. But in order to do this, they had to make room. The old industrial building coming down to make way for more than 700 new homes, many of them affordable. It's all part of a larger plan to transform the area around the station into an urban village. They started yesterday breaking ground on the north side of the project. It will be known as the Ficino neighborhood that once housed a family trucking business, that is. And Arlen Ramirez was there as the city leaders took the first swing at transforming that site.
Well, for the last 50 years, this property was a trucking company, then it was abandoned, and lately people broke into the buildings that are being demolished behind me to start an illegal pot farm. But now this faces a much different future. Hundreds and hundreds of homes will be built here, many of them for low-income families.
With a hard hat on and hands at the controls, San Jose Mayor Matt Mahan kicked off the first phase of the massive project, demolition. In dramatic fashion, the mayor tore down the first of several old buildings on the 13-acre site in Northeast San Jose.
40% of the units here will be affordable, which means we aren't just building housing for the lucky few at the highest echelons of the economy, but this will be a mixed income neighborhood, which is a great thing. Better outcomes for all the kids.
The project will bring more than 700 new homes to the area, a mix of single-family homes, condos, and apartments. It also includes ground floor retail and a public park, part of a new transit-oriented neighborhood designed to keep people close to jobs and transit.
The Bay Area is basically the most expensive construction market in the world. It teeters from being number one, number two. More than Tokyo, more than New York. So it's extremely hard to make these projects pencil and to find the capital to invest in them.
Despite those challenges, the project moved forward thanks in large part to federal subsidies for affordable housing.
we've needed workforce housing in this valley for decades, and so we're able to add 280 units through some subsidies from the federal government. So the cost of rent will be either 70% of market, 50% of market, or 30% of market. So it really makes a big deal so that people don't have to travel on our roads as far and they can live close to town.
The homes are just steps away from BART and major bus lines, part of what planners call a larger transit village.
We are meeting the housing demand. This will create ridership on the BART line, and those people will be able to take BART to their jobs in North San Jose and downtown.
The project is expected to be complete in 2 years, delivering homes and hope to hundreds of families.
Making things more convenient. Lynn also tells us there will eventually be more than 4,000 housing units around the Berryessa BART station, according to the city's plans. A San Francisco waterfront park will have a better view now that PG&E is taking down a transition tower over at the India Basin shoreline. It's the next phase in the $200 million project to create the 10-acre India Basin waterfront park in the Bayview Hunters Point neighborhood, which opened a year ago. Community leaders say this is a step in revitalizing the park.
And this is just one monumental step in the many steps that we've historically made on this shoreline to not only beautify the space, but to make this space healthier and safer for this community.
It's expected to be finished by the end of 2027. Still ahead, it's a trend you may want to think about the next time you decide to travel, how visitors to Northern California and beyond are taking the slow road.
Well, it's another warm day for us here in the Bay Area. Gearing up for 80s in our inland spots. Sunny skies too on tap for us. It's a great day to get out there and get some fresh air. Now by tomorrow, temperatures are going to feel a little bit more fall-like. We have this area of low pressure sweeping in from the south. That'll cool us off, bring in some clouds. Average the temperatures out as we dive into this weekend. And then as early as this weekend, we have an atmospheric river sweeping in from the north. That's going to bring in some substantial rain for us, especially in the North Bay, because that's the direction of the storm, north to south. So we could see anywhere up to around an inch up in the North Bay, closer to a half an inch down in the South Bay.
There's a new study showing that while food allergies continue to increase overall, peanut allergies in young children, they've plummeted. According to the American Academy of Pediatrics, they've dropped 43% since 2017. Researchers say that's because recommendation has been revised. Parents are no longer being told to avoid giving babies foods that can potentially cause allergic reactions. Instead, doctors recommend exposing them to tiny amounts.
What our research showed is that, in fact, providing these foods earlier is a way to train the immune system that the foods themselves are safe. We've been able to implement what I think is one of the most important public health interventions in allergy.
The research showing since the updated recommendation, about 60,000 children have avoided developing peanut allergies. More travelers are taking the slow road these days. Slow travel has become a popular trend since the pandemic as a greater number of Americans choose less busy and crowded itineraries, letting the destination shape their trip. Wendy Gillette explains.
Leaf peepers are popping up all over the Northeast this month, including at Scroon Lake in New York's Adirondack Mountains. It's one example of slow travel, when nature and an immersive experience shape the schedule, rather than packed to-do lists. The luxury travel network Virtuoso has seen the trend grow in popularity.
People are looking for that pause from their daily rush of life to absorb and soak in the beauty of the destination that they're in.
Rides on a pontoon boat, listening to live music around the fire pit, roasting marshmallows, hikes in the forest, and relaxing at the pool are some of the slow travel offerings from the lodge at Scroon Lake, where comfort food and drinks and two-floor cabins with views calm the pace.
People are by the fire reading a book, their kids are running around and playing, and there's so much laughter and happiness.
On the West Coast, travelers can get very up close with nature at Carmel Valley Ranch's Bee Class in Monterey County, California.
There's probably about 500, 700 bees in this train.
The resort, one of those we stayed at for a special rate, offers scenic views, farm animals to observe, and a spa where products are made with lavender grown on site.
We give guests a number of options to really unwind, slow down their pace.
But nothing spells slow travel quite like the ocean. The Sanctuary Beach Resort here in nearby Marina has rooms overlooking the dunes and Pacific. Their steps from cauldrons lit up every night at sunset. Relaxed activities include beach walks and oyster shell decorating. Nearby, gourmet restaurants like Chez Noir and Carmel utilize local ingredients for leisurely meals.
They call it the salad bowl of America. So, most of the artichokes that are grown in America and the garlic are from right, 15 minutes up the road.
You can browse all that bounty at local farm markets or drop into some wineries for more contemplative time spent only as you wish.
Feeling more relaxed just by watching them and relax. Virtuoso says slow tourism can also mean avoiding overcrowded destinations and staying longer. Still ahead, we'll take you to a Bay Area school with no bells, no grades, and the teacher is AI. How this could be the future of education.
Oh, thank you so much.
starting off with tomorrow, as we head outside today, heading into the evening hours tonight, here's those clouds. We could even zoom in a little bit that I was talking about. It'll happen closer to around 9-10 o'clock. So just keep that in mind if you want to take your eyes to the skies and check out that comet. It'll also bring in a series of light showers in the forecast too. Now Thursday, for the most part, clouds just pushing in from the north. We're going to catch a little bit of a break from the storm system that's going to be rolling in as early as Friday. That one's going to bring in some heavier amounts of rain. For example, Wednesday alone, we'll see maybe 1/100 of an inch, just light spotty showers here and there. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, that's the better chance that we could see heavy showers as this atmospheric river rolls in from offshore. So let's actually drop everything, and I want to show you just the next 7 days alone. Here's what we're gearing up for as we head outside today and tomorrow. We're going to see daytime highs sitting in the 70s today in the Bay, 60s tomorrow with some light showers on tap for us. The heavier showers, as we zoom all the way in, will happen as we head into Saturday and Sunday, and this is what we're monitoring closely as we head into this weekend. For now, over to you.
Day by day, AI is becoming more prevalent in our lives, and now it's taking over the classroom. Itai Had got an inside look at a new school in San Francisco where AI is not only the subject, but also the teacher.
For a lot of kids, school is something you suffer through. But for 13-year-old June Rockefeller, it's become something else entirely.
I love school so much now. I think it's really fun.
June is part of the inaugural class at Alpha, a new school in San Francisco that's using AI to reimagine learning. There are no bells, no grades, not even teachers. Here, AI handles all the lessons. Adults called guides are there to help and encourage. Students spend just 2 hours on core subjects, all taught by AI apps. Freeing up the rest of the day for hands-on life skills and passion projects.
I'm excited to share my app called Moleculab.
14-year-old Ethan Wong is using AI to design an app for molecular gastronomy.
It's an app that helps students ages 13 to 18.
Today's class, how to pitch a startup.
I'm going to guess in your other schools you weren't creating apps.
No, not at all.
His dad, James, admits he wasn't sure about the experiment until he saw it in action.
I had not seen that smile when he exited school in a very long time.
Okay.
Carson Lehman, Alpha's lead guide, says schools have been slow to change.
I want them to see that they are able to create something. They don't need any other skills. They don't need a crazy degree in computer science. They are able to create a functioning app.
But not everyone agrees. Sandra Curiel, president of United Educators of San Francisco, says 2 hours of digital learning is a poor substitute for in-person education.
What needs to be made really, really clear is that some of the consequences of unregulated and currently unstudied AI in education settings could have potentially really impactful and negative influences on our students.
And then there's the price. $75,000 a year. Alpha says students at its other campuses score in the top 1% to 2% nationally across all grade levels.
It was really good.
For June, there's no going back.
Is there anything that you miss at all from your older school?
Absolutely not.
Still, it remains to be seen if AI can get an A+.
The school started with just 15 students, but next fall it aims to enroll 75 with scholarships open to some families. Maybe we'll apply. Thanks for streaming CBS News Bay Area. I'm Veronica Macias. We'll be back, of course, with your first alert forecast and a look at your top stories.
You're streaming CBS News Bay Area.
Thanks for joining us on this Tuesday. I'm Veronica Macias, and here's a look at our news headlines this morning. Governor Gavin Newsom is warning millions of Californians who rely on food benefits they may not get their November payments. The governor's press office says if the government doesn't reopen by Thursday, CalFresh benefits may not be funded starting next month. Newsom's office says about 5.5 million Californians rely on those SNAP benefits. Police in Vallejo say a couple armed with a knife stole this English bulldog from its owner. Officers say that the victim was walking Tyson here on Friday night near Marin and Kentucky Streets. Then the thieves stole his wallet along with the dog. There's a $500 reward to help bring Tyson home safely. We're learning that a chess grandmaster from the Bay Area has died. 29-year-old Daniel Naroditsky started as a child prodigy, earning the title of World Youth Champion by 12 years old and then grandmaster by the age of 18. The Charlotte Chess Center, where he worked as a coach, announced his death yesterday. He was born in San Mateo County and graduated from Stanford. No word on his cause of death. The NBA season tips off tonight, and the Warriors are on the road against the Los Angeles Lakers. There's no LeBron James to face as he's dealing with an injury. Dub Nation can cheer on the team with a watch party over at Thrive City. Tip-off, that's at 7. The Warriors will play their home opener Thursday at Chase Center. Now to your first alert weather. Dangerous surf pounding our Bay Area coastline today. Our chopper spotted those huge waves out there yesterday. That's near the Point Bonita Lighthouse. Meteorologist Jessica Birch says this is our first sign of a series of storms that are developing right now in the Pacific.
Daytime highs today all throughout the Bay Area, nice and warm. We're talking about 80s in our inland spots, 70s in San Francisco and Oakland. Let's head up to the North Bay real fast, actually. Places like Santa Rosa are sitting in the 80s today, but we have some cooler weather on tap for us as early as tomorrow, actually. What's going to happen is we have this area of low pressure sweeping in from the south. It's going to bring in daytime highs down into the 60s in some of our inland communities, actually. And as we take a look at the next couple days, we're going to see clouds surge in from the south, a chance of showers as well, and that's what we're keeping a close eye on as we head at least into our Wednesday forecast. We'll start to dry up by Thursday and Friday before we get another batch of showers right around the corner heading into this weekend. That's exactly what it's going to look like, by the way, on Wednesday. Notice how spotty it is, nothing too extreme, but what we will see is anywhere up to around 1/100 of an inch of rain from that system before we gear up for the atmospheric river that could bring in some heavier showers from the north as we dive into our Saturday and Sunday forecast. So those rain